Hey YouTube, it's your girl Dr. J, and I am back to talk a little bit more about homeschooling STEM. And in this video, I am going to talk about competitions. Competitions are an excellent way to cover STEM-based activities, especially in the areas of science, technology, and engineering, also a little bit in math. And it is really the ideal way to tackle some of those areas because a lot of competitions are going to be focused on problem solving. And the reason why we have those four areas today is because they help us to solve problems. So I'm going to talk about some of the competitions that are available in the STEM areas, and in a little bit I'll also link in the description provide some links to some competitions. It's not gonna be done right away though, sorry. But first let me get started with talking about some of those competitions. Okay, this is First Lego League. This is Junior First Lego League. Junior First Lego League is really going to be kind of those ages that are like 9 and below, and then you have different stages of First Lego League. And of course Lego League is going to use Legos, but the really cool thing about this competition is that every year they have a different problem that they have to solve, and they don't compete until the First Lego League. So with Junior First Lego League, they're doing it for fun, and you put a team together and they go through the process, but they aren't going to have an opportunity to lose per se. Whereas with First Lego League, and as it goes up through the high school level, that is an all-out competition, and it's really great, really inspiring. I know a lot of homeschoolers who have done it. I know, homeschooling families who have gotten really, really into it. And it is a great way for a child to really get a firm foundation in engineering and technology. One competition that we're going to be doing this year, my kids are going to be doing, is Destination Imagination. And I really like this program as well. This is our first time being a competitor in the program, but I follow the program quite a bit. And the thing that I really like about this program is that there are several different categories that you can choose from. So for instance, there is a technical, scientific, structural, fine arts, improvisational, and service learning. So in each of those areas, you choose one area that you want to that your team wants to compete in, and you solve the problem that's put forth in the booklet. And there's different points assigned for things like creativity, problem solving, and then you compete at the regional level. There'll be some within, like there's two within my state, two competitions. So we would go one of the competitions within my state, and if they placed at that level, then they would go on to compete at nationals. So it's a really good program because with problem solving, they're going to have to really come up with things on their own. It works very similar to Junior First Lego League, Junior First Lego League and Lego League, where the children are the ones who's supposed to be doing the problem solving. You're there as a coach, and you just make sure nobody gets hurt. But beyond that, it is supposed to be all the work of the children. I really like Destination Imagination because you only have to have 2 members on a team. So, my 3 kids, they make up a team. So if you wanted to do it just with your family, you could, or because I know people don't always have kids that are all the same age. Y'all didn't have them 2 at a time like I did. So you want to really go, and it's something where if you want to work with other kids, you can do that too. So Destination Imagination. Another one that's similar to Destination Imagination is Odyssey of the Mind. I haven't competed in Odyssey of the Mind, and I haven't tracked it a lot because it's not real big in my state. But there are some states in which Odyssey of the Mind is really, really big. So if Odyssey of the Mind is what is much more of a focus in your area, you might want to check that one out. They tend to not be really expensive to participate, and if you go in with a couple of families and you guys do a team together, then the cost comes down a lot. Other competitions, my kids did one called Siemens. It was the Save the World competition where the kids had to come up with some concept in which they could try to solve a problem, and it was based on, helping the environment. And so that was one competition. And these are competitions that are really for younger kids. I'll talk about some of the competitions that you can get in as your kids get older too. But so Seamen Save the World is a good competition. Check like different local groups in your area that may have different types of competitions. I know my local Mensa chapter, they do a children's invention contest every year. And that is where you enter by grade category, and there's no restrictions. I mean, kids can invent whatever they want to invent. And my kids did it last year. They're doing it again this year. And, we just kind of said, okay, you come up with it and, we'll give you support, but it's your project. And my oldest did an invention where he did an improvement on the traditional solar ovens that people can build themselves. And he did a whole scientific study with it where he said what pieces he was going to change, and he built a traditional solar oven and his improved solar oven, and he tracked them, set them out in the sun, saw how hot they got, how long it took them to heat, how long they held their heat. I mean, he just went just crazy over it. And he, did win for his age category and came in second overall. And the child that came in first actually got a patent for his invention, and it's on the market right now. So it was just, it was a local competition, but, kids came out and really did their thing and were really creative with it. You also can find in your local area different competitions. Sometimes they're from different businesses in your area. If you're near a major company like, a major Toyota plant or Microsoft or any place like that, check those local companies to see what sort of competitions they're having. As kids get older, you can have like math competitions, like the Art of Problem Solving has math competitions. Math is a part of STEM, so look at that. That's going to introduce your child to a whole new type of math, a whole new depth of math that goes so far beyond, algebra, geometry. It's just going to be something that is amazing. There are Discovery Science does some really, really good type of competitions where as the kids get older, they partner with some companies and they have pretty big prizes. I mean, $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 scholarships can be won in these competitions. And the earlier your child starts in the competitions, the more rotations they get to do so they can understand the competition process better. They begin to understand the scientific process together better and what they need to do a good scientific research study. And so by the time they are 16, 17, 18 years old and they're doing a competition, they are doing projects that you would be doing at the graduate level of college, because that is the same process that they use in these competitions is the same process that's going to be used in traditional scientific research. And that's why I'm just such a big fan of it. NASA Marshall Space Flight Center every year does NASA does their moon buggy competition there, where when you're in high school, they have high school teams and college teams that you create a moon buggy and you run it around the circuit, and they give you all the requirements and different things like that, and your child creates works with a team and creates the moon buggy and races it around the circuit. The reason why I love this competition so much is because most people don't finish the track. I mean, it's a tough competition, but you get to see the process unfold, and you get to see the good and and the ugly, and you get to be inspired. I've seen so many teams where they had to carry their moon buggy across the finish line, but they made it, they did it. And so that's really good, and it allows your child to kind of persevere. We see that a lot in First Lego League as well, where teams, they tried hard and they fail, but they feel good because they know how much work they put in, and they see the end result. And sometimes the end result is not that you win, it's that you finish. And that is something that it's hard for us to really wrap our mind around and accomplish just when we're doing our traditional schoolwork. And so competitions allow your children to really go out there and do that schoolwork in a completely different way, and tackle different problems in a real world setting. Another thing that competitions do is they allow your child to get feedback from other people that's, outside of you. They really hone their presentation skills in a really neat way. And if you can't do a competition, or there are no competitions in your area, create your own thing. I know there's a group that does a chemistry night at a local university, and I talked with the people, and what they did was my kids and some other kids that were also homeschoolers, we were doing chemistry together, and they allowed our kids to come and present their chemistry projects at the university. And so they got to get feedback on their projects from professors and chemistry students, and that was really amazing. And they were invited back to do it again this year. So they're coming up with new chemistry projects, and it's like a little mini science fair, but instead of the teacher down the street who's doing the judging and giving your child the feedback and asking them questions for them to answer, these are college professors who are chemistry professors who are doing that. So our kids are getting an opportunity to hone their presentation skills. They're getting an opportunity to get comfortable talking with people about their ideas and their projects. They're getting the opportunity to handle being questioned and answering questions about the things that they do. Now that they've been through that process once, they're better able to anticipate the types of questions people may ask for them to answer and different things like that. So I know sometimes people, they don't want to be really competitive, and there can be a bad taste in our mouth when it comes to competitions. We don't want our kids to get the big head for winning, and we don't want our kids to get depressed for losing. But there are competition just creates an environment that you can't mimic any other way. You can't mimic your nerves getting up there when it's your turn to speak. You can't mimic an environment where your palms really are getting sweaty because you're wondering, is this really going to work? It's fine to do a study at home and at the end result have a book report, but to work real hard and the end result be to have a stage on which it might be tens of people, it might be hundreds of people, it might be thousands of people. And when you get to national competitions, it might be tens of thousands of people who are going to see, is this going to work? Some competitions, like First Lego League and Moon Buggy, they're not just, the audience that's there. They're going to be streamed live on television. And it's an opportunity for your child to show the world, this is what I can do. And again, they don't have to win. It's not about winning. It's about the process. Another thing, that any good competition is going to have it's going to have a reasonable entry fee. You shouldn't have an entry fee and, thousands of dollars or anything like that. But another thing is that it's going to have prizes, not just for the winner, but for most creativity, the team that persevered, a team that had, thought most outside the box, the team that worked together the best. There's going to be a whole lot of areas that your child will be able to shine, because not everybody's going to be a great engineer. Not everybody's going to be a great builder. Not everybody's going to be great in math. But you can be a great leader. You can be a great team player. You can be really creative in packaging. Those are all fields that are in demand, and those are all skills, life skills, that your child will need to take them throughout their whole life. So that's why I like competitions. It's not just about winning. There's a lot of times my kids don't win, but we do the things that they enjoy and they have fun with, and now they know that life's not just about winning. And sometimes you win and you didn't do your best, but you still won. Sometimes you do your best and you didn't win. Sometimes you agree with the judges' decisions, and sometimes you go, how dare they not know how great I am? That's a part of it. I mean, we've all been on job interviews and we didn't get it and go, how stupid could those people be? I'm great. Being able to handle rejection, being able to handle people that may not see your vision and may not see it that way. Those are all things that it's hard to teach in a fake environment. You really have to kind of let your child experience it and walk with them through the process of how to handle it. So I think for STEM, competitions are great. And like I said, I'll list the ones that I mentioned in the description box soon, and any other ones I find. And if you know of some competitions, definitely put them in the description box as well. We'll show it to others. Thanks a lot. This is Dr. J, and I'm out. Bye-bye.